Nostalgia is like crack. Nostalgia will have you thinking that a period of your life was peak human existence, when realistically, you was just an 8-year-old eating Play-Doh and low-key giving yourself cancer. Nostalgia will have you thinking that a game that you played when you were 7 years old was peak, when realistically, that game had mid-electrics. Do you see where I'm going with this, guys? Nostalgia and rose-tinted glasses are concepts that fighting game players just don't seem to be able to comprehend. So when you criticize their favorite fighting games from 15 years ago, they're like, skill issue, guff. I inhale ink pens. But are these guys spitting? Or are they just blinded by nostalgia? Let's find out. Now, did I make this video because I got cooked after calling Tekken Tag 2 bad? Yes. So naturally, I would talk about Tag 2 first. But no, we are going way back. We are going to talk about their game, which I think had Tekken's first real cult following. Tekken 4. Tekken 4 is kind of like a black sheep of Tekken because it doesn't really play like any of the other games, but introduced a lot of things which will go on to make Tekken what it is today. To me, Tekken 4 is a game where these developers decided to throw a bunch of shit at a wall to see what would stick in preparation for future games. In fact, Harada has stated before that this was literally what Tekken 4 was. And I personally think that is actually what Tekken 8 currently is. But anyways, this isn't a Tekken 8 video. Tekken 4 introduced a bunch of things. Dynamic stages with environmental hazards was a big thing, but sidewalk and side switching throws and stuff like that was also introduced. And also the movement was slower. It gave this game a very grounded, gritty and kind of grind it out kind of playstyle, which a lot of people enjoy, myself included. These new mechanics at the time added an extra layer of depth to Tekken, where players had to think about strategic positioning more than just one big combo, you know, which was more realistic if you was making like a realistic fighting game. This game was heavily story focused. Like the Tekken team made an active decision to go out of their way to give their characters as much depth as possible and to be realistic. Like Tekken up until this point was just kind of just random shit. Like I remember from being a kid, this goofy ass Kuma and Panda cutscene and shit like that, and throwing people off cliffs, which is kind of just like eh. But Tekken 4 really went in hard on the realism and went from devil, to yeah, this guy is a drunk and he killed someone in a bar because he's a drunk, and yeah, he got expelled from his dojo because he was a drunk, and then his life spiraled downhill, and yeah, he's a pretty bad guy now. A lot of people like these more dark and realistic storylines and lore drops, and the stages in this game and the overall atmosphere and aesthetic of this game is dark and realistic, which matches the gameplay perfectly in my opinion. Playing Tekken 4 legit feels like fighting as a delinquent in some back alley against another delinquent for who gets to eat the last packet of beef jerky at some bar or some shit. It's really cool, I'm not gonna lie. So like, I'm saying a lot of cool ass things about Tekken 4. This must be one of the best Tekken games ever created, right? It hit on this new direction and the Tekken team just rolled with this forever, right? No, Tekken 4 is widely considered the worst mainline Tekken game ever created and was also the worst selling Tekken game ever. At the time, this game was considered an abomination, not even a Tekken game. This game was so bad that Harada, Tekken's director, outright left the company because he did not fuck with this game's direction in the slightest. Tekken to me, as many people I think would agree, is a competitive fighting game, right? That's the appeal with Tekken. It's not really a play for funsies kind of game, or it can be at the very lowest level, but not really. For most people, I don't think they will think that that's something crazy to say. Tekken 4 is not a competitive game to any degree, so by definition, it is not a good Tekken game. The gameplay was slower and felt more realistic, yes, but this also felt clunky and restrictive. The dynamic stages with differing heights and stage hazards, those are cool though, right? Yes, but they also allow players to pull off infinite combos easily and make hitboxes inconsistent. The character balancing was bad. Jin in this game might be the most broken Jin ever. Laser Scraper, Jin's back forward 2-1-2, we all know this move. The mid string is kind of annoying, but in Tekken 4, the final hit of this string, if held, was a launching unblockable. Yes, lovely. Oh, it could also be sped up with a just frame input. So that's fun, right guys? Mid tracking string with an unblockable ender. Yes, lovely. This is like the most egregious thing in Tekken 4, just like at face value. But there was a lot of nonsense in this game, like Lee's acid rain being an 8-frame launcher. Lee's sidestep 2 on hit let you follow up, which basically ended in combo damage. Steve's forward 1+2, I think it was, his power crush move in Tekken 8 was a death combo at the wall, so that was fun. But yeah, Tekken 4 was abysmal on the balancing. Really dumb stuff in this game. All of this just led to people not fucking with the game, bro. It was clunky, it was buggy, it was imbalanced. Bad. Did this game have certain appeals? For sure, but this was objectively a bad Tekken game, which to me, fair enough. It was basically an experiment that kind of worked out in the end of the day, because after this we got arguably the best Tekken game of all time, so there you go. Now this is where I talk about nostalgia and rose-tinted glasses. In recent times, people's opinion on Tekken 4 has changed somewhat, and now people are saying, wait a minute, Tekken 4 was actually a good game. It was ahead of its time, which, you know, in hindsight, it did introduce a bunch of different things that would go on to make Tekken the game it is today. However, as a competitive game, which Tekken is supposed to be, this game is fucking terrible. All the issues are right there, and it's abundantly clear what is wrong with the game with very minimal digging into the game. However, this isn't the only game that Tekken fans have recently switched up on. Tekken Tag 2. Now, I will give this to Tag 2. When Tag 2 was out, it was very divided when it came to who liked the game and who didn't. A lot of people disliked Tekken, but there was a subgroup of hardcore Tekken fans that thought this game was peak. However, they are a subgroup of fans. This game was objectively bad, and at the time, most people understood that this game was objectively bad, and nowadays, people are suddenly acting like Tekken Tag 2 was the coming of Christ fam. I genuinely just think Tag 2 fans are confused, because Tag 2's like core gameplay at its best is actually some of the best in the series. Like neutral in that game, I won't say it's peak Tekken, but it's top 3, even maybe top 2. Tag 2, like DR and 6, was still able to make a very offensive focused game that was built on mind games and outplaying your opponent. It was very technical, and like most older Tekken games, it was hard to hang out here if you didn't know what you were doing, and that's kind of one of the main appeals about Tekken anyways. But you might have noticed that I said Tag 2 was very good at its best, which was not often, because capos were a thing in this game. 1-4ing you for your life savings, and Mishima's blowing you up with 1 electric. Naturally, capos and double Mishima were overused, because they could blow up your entire health bar from 1 interaction, which was a common thing in Tekken Tag 2, which I just don't understand how people have switched up with this game after experiencing this. Like, people hate Tekken 8 because you can lose a round by losing 2 interactions. In this game, you can very easily lose with 1. And this game in 2025 is being praised. And it's not even like the interactions you had to win in Tag 2 are that different from Tekken 8. A hop kick in Tekken Tag 2 could do up to 70% damage. And generic down forward 2s were out here doing half health. The most generic tools in the game just blowing you up like this. Nobody likes losing from 1 interaction. 2 things can be true at the same time. This game is very skill intensive. Just for the mere fact that getting hit by anything kills you in this game. Your defense had to be strong for you to be good in this game. Your movement had to be strong in this game because 1 miss input could end your life, and 1 whiff from your opponent would end their life. There is a reason why JDCR absolutely bodied everyone in this game, and it was because his movement was better than everyone else, and he played a character with a god fist in a game where you only need 1 whiff to win a round. The game was still bad. Dying from a singular mistake is not competitive. This is the exact reason you hate on Tekken 8. Tekken 8 is some random evasive launcher into 50-50 death. Tekken Tag 2, admittedly, you do play a lot more neutral, so I will say one earned launcher into Oki into death. It's the same shit, bro. I haven't even talked about all the other stuff which made the online experience in this game butt as fuck, which online is what most people would play. Like 14 frame throw break windows, I'm pretty sure this game had, which good luck breaking those online. Or, you know, the size of the roster, having to lab 40 characters perfectly, or you just die to one random thing. Oh, and Rage just making the damage stuff 10 times worse. Knowledge is half the game in Tekken. Before Tekken 6, homing moves did not exist. And homing moves, in my opinion, were one of the best things added to Tekken because it meant that you didn't have to have legacy knowledge to catch steppers. You didn't have to go through your whole fucking move list and figure out, oh, this move tracks 20 degrees right, or this move tracks well left, but not against female characters. No, you just click a fucking homing move and figure out those things as you play. The Tekken team added this to make the game playable for people who are new to the game, to bring in new fans. Tag 2 failed because it could not bring in new fans, because you have to lab 40 characters and you're punished with death for whiffing a poke, and throws are unbreakable for a new player. Dudes will literally try to convince you that this game failed because it was going up against peak Street Fighter. Tekken is a 3D game. Street Fighter is a 2D game. Despite the comparisons between these two games, they have completely separate audiences. If you like fighting games, you play both because these two games are not similar to any degree. If you're a 2D fighter fan and Ultra Street Fighter 4 is out, then yeah, you're probably going to only play that game. Tekken has nothing to do with Street Fighter, fam. I promise you guys. This is literally like saying, Burger King is as popular as it's ever been. Nobody's gonna eat Popeyes. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Ultra Street Fighter 4 is out. Nobody's going to play Naruto Ninja Storm. Like, what are we talking about? Anyways, this is two games who in the last year or so, the overall opinion of the game has changed like a lot. But this next game takes the fucking cake, because in these other games I was either a fucking toddler, so I wasn't there to actually experience the game properly, or I was just starting to like play Tekken somewhat seriously. This next game, Tekken 7, I was actively playing and labbing and all that shit. Tekken 7 until Tekken 8 came out, people would have told you this was a top 3 Tekken game, and the numbers back that up. People loved this game. People still love this game. This game did not die with Launch Leroy, Launch Fark, Kunomitsu, Noctis, all of that. People loved the game so much that they continue to play through all of that bullshit. This game had almost a 10-year lifespan. 10. And even towards the end, like when Tekken 8 got announced and nobody really gave a fuck about 7 anymore, you know, like in its 10th year, going on a decade, it was still more active than Tag 2 was for half its lifespan, probably more. In January 2024, Tekken 7 still had 5,000 active online players on Steam alone. That's Tekken 8 right now, bro. Tekken 7 was just a good game. It had its balancing issues for sure, but a lot of those issues really only affected competitive players, I'ma be real. Like, for example, people who complain about 2Ds when they encountered 2 Arkamas or 5 Geeses a year and none of them could even make the character broken, genuinely used to bother me, bro. However, I'm not going to sit here and defend Launch Leroy or Fark because they was bugging with that shit. But the gameplay of this game was still heavily mind game orientated, more so than any other Tekken game in my opinion, because of how strong defense was in this game, which at the time not a single soul was complaining about, by the way. To get any type of damage in this game, your poke game had to be legit, because low pokes in this game are dangerous, because a low parry gave a full combo in this game. Also, you couldn't get mashy out here, bro, or you're holding a magic 4. Both players are thinking and trying to slowly outplay each other like a chess game. This is why people don't like Tekken 8. In Tekken 7, if your opponent launches you, you know exactly what you did wrong, and you could recognize how you got outplayed straight away. In Tekken 8, a lot of times you did nothing wrong. Your opponent deadass just clicked some shit until it hit. The defender is thinking and the guy on offense isn't, and that's something everyone who likes Tekken hates experiencing. Tekken was perfect in this regard. This particular gameplay also made for one of the best tournament fighting games ever in my opinion. It was slow paced, sure, there was a lot of feeling each other out which sometimes led to the timer running out, but it all felt like build up for the last 1 or 2 rounds where all the tension and build up led to a fat counter hit or launcher which created so much hype and so much iconic moments. Tekken 7 was like that, bro. But guess what? Now Tekken 7 is labelled as Backdash 7, which was a boring turtle fest. The revisionist history with this game in particular is ridiculous, bro. Nobody was complaining about Backdash 7 in real time, bro. The only character that was ever brought up in that conversation was literally Zafina and maybe Alisa. These guys are saying Backdash 7 because the game's so turtly and defensive. It's not even true. The reason why Backdash 7 is even a name given is because in tournament, all anyone would do was go to an infinite stage, and there's real reasons for this, and it's honestly more of a tournament rule flaw. Firstly, Akuma was a top tournament pick in this game. Akuma with walls in Tekken 7 is practically a free win. And in Tekken 7, the loser gets to 1, change their character, or 2, pick a stage. And they all pick the infinite stage because Akuma is actually a real character when there's no walls involved. It wasn't because, oh, Backdash 7, I have to play defensively and turtle, oh! Walls are just extra damage given to your opponent, which makes it so you lose in less interactions. So if given the choice, why would you pick a stage that kills you quicker? This is a tournament rule flaw, not a gameplay flaw. Backdash 7 is the biggest drag, bro. And it wasn't even a narrative that existed whilst we was playing Tekken 7 outside of Zafina. The people who think this about Tekken 7 now are just NPCs, bro. You literally watched one main man video where he said he likes Tekken 8 because it's less turtly and just went to the most extreme version of that opinion as possible. Complete bots, bro. Now this is 3 different games whose entire narratives have been changed, all at the same time, may I add. So we have to think why, but not for too long because it's actually so obvious. Tekken 8 is arse. So people tried out other games and tried to have controversial opinions to distract themselves from Tekken 8. Oh, guess what guys? Tekken Tag 2 really isn't that bad. Compared to Tekken 8, arguably the worst Tekken game in the fucking franchise. Oh guys, look, Tekken 4 is real Tekken. Compared to Tekken 8, a game more similar to a 2D fighter than any Tekken game in history. Oh no, Tekken 7 sucks. It's not real Tekken, it's a turtle fest. This one I actually just don't have a reason for because it's just that stupid, bro. Like, you've either been Tekken 8 brain so much or you're so swayed by any Tekken YouTuber. It's so obvious why this is happening. Tekken 8 sucks, so you're playing other Tekken games. But those games aren't as active as Tekken 8, so now you just have some free time. So you just want to start discussions, which is fine. But why can't you people have normal discussions? Like, I don't know what it is with people online always wanting to act like they have some super based hidden knowledge take. Like, Tekken 7 was a good fucking game, bro, and everyone who played it at the time fucked with it. It's the reason we even have another Tekken game. Tag 2 almost killed the franchise. Oh, great game though, guys. It was just Street Fighter's fault that one of the most popular fighting game franchises of all time was just gonna collapse. That's what that was. You guys don't have any unique takes, bro. You're just lying. It's perfectly okay to like a game that is bad. One of my favorite games of all time is For Honor. For those of you who don't know, at one point, many years ago, I was a top For Honor player, at least on console. I'm talking top 10 ranked, only Highlander on that leaderboard type shit. And I will tell you guys that For Honor is a fun game because I think it is. What I won't tell you is that For Honor is actually a good game because that game is fucking awful, bro. The degree of bullshit that game has gone through over the years is insane. I will never tell you that For Honor is objectively a good game, even if I do enjoy it myself, because I am self-aware enough to know that I am part of a subgroup of people who are sick enough to actually like that bullshit game. The guys who think that Tag 2 is peak are not self-aware. They genuinely believe their game is objectively goated, which it's just not. The numbers show that. You are merely part of a subgroup of sickos who find bullshit games fun, and that's fine. But you have to be self-aware before you start yapping online. Come on now. The worst part is that people are already starting to do this with Tekken 8. Season 1 wasn't only 3 months ago. Dudes are really out here saying, you know what? Season 1 actually goated. The offensive gameplay wasn't too overwhelming, and it was actually more interactive than these older Tekken games. This was a legit tweet I read. Whoever posted that, you are so lucky I could not find it again, because I would have put your capping ass on blast. It's like people don't understand that their view of Tekken 8 is affecting how they view other games, which is understandable. You just have to be self-aware enough to shut the fuck up. Like, listen, you are a guy who put 1,000 hours into a shit Tekken game, and now everyone is playing Tekken 7 because this game is shit, and everyone is praising Tekken 7 and roasting the game you put 1,000 hours into. I would be salty too, but would I be salty enough to try and change a narrative to make those hours I put into a shit game seem less like a complete waste of time? It seems like an obvious reason as to why someone would do something like that, right? You know, when you're comparing Tekken 4 to Tekken 8, it does look pretty good, you know, until you actually play the fucking game. Listen, I'ma just say this, there's probably a lot of Tekken vets in my audience. These guys were there experiencing these games in real time. They know what people loved and what people hated. Not a single person who played Tekken 4 at the time it came out will tell you that Tekken 4 was secretly a competitive fighting game. They just wouldn't. Same thing as me when people say Tekken 7 was /7. No, it wasn't. I was there, watching every tournament I could possibly find and playing ranked, watching streamers play. You know, what I saw in Tekken 7 ranked was Bears doing bullshit, Zafina doing bullshit, Alyssa doing bullshit. I ain't seen these dudes backdashing the whole game. Same thing when I tune into a main man stream and I just see this dude's Kazuya getting whooped by a Nina. I ain't seeing no /7. I saw /7 when I saw the very best Zafinas in the world pick an infinite stage. Sure, how many viable tournament characters were there in Tekken 7 that were actually played? Feng, Julia, Marduk, Geese, Akuma, Kazuya, Jack, Brian, Steve, Paul, Katarina, Jin, Devil Jin, Claudio, Alyssa. Who on this list really wants to play /7? You think Marduk wants to play /7? You think Akuma wants to play /7? You think Jin wants to play /7? You think Claudio wants to play /7? You think Jack wants to play /7? You guys really think that? Alright bro, I think that's it for now guys. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and until next time guys.